The early morning sun of September 23, 2025, casts a hazy orange glow across the South China Sea. The horizon is painted in soft golds and reds, a deceptive calm before the storm. As the world awakens, the vast expanse of water seems peaceful, almost serene, belying the tension simmering just beneath the surface. But the calm is an illusion. Beneath the gentle waves, a storm of human conflict brews, invisible to the casual observer but palpable to those who know these waters. Just over 100 nautical miles from the Philippine coast, a tense standoff unfolds. Here, rival ships maneuver in a high-stakes game of patience and power, each side unwilling to yield an inch. The BRP Gabriela Silang, a lone Philippine Coast Guard vessel, faces off against a blockade of imposing China Coast Guard ships at Scarborough Shoal. The Filipino crew stands resolute, outnumbered but undeterred, their ship dwarfed by the Chinese flotilla. The Chinese ships, larger and bristling with equipment, form a wall, determined to keep the Filipinos out. Their presence is overwhelming, a show of force meant to intimidate and control access to these contested waters. Radio warnings crackle, each side asserting sovereignty over this contested ring of reefs. Voices are tense, formal and unyielding, echoing the gravity of the moment. Suddenly, a Chinese vessel unleashes a water cannon, slamming a jet of seawater into the Gabriela Silang. The force rattles the ship, drenching the deck and sending a clear message: "You are not welcome here." The Filipino crew braces, documenting every aggressive maneuver for the world to see. Cameras and phones capture the chaos, determined to show the international community the reality of their struggle. This is a battle of nerves and narratives, not missiles, where water cannons and intimidation replace gunfire. Each side tests the other's resolve, knowing that even a single escalation could spiral out of control. Images of the assault flash across global screens, turning this remote shoal into a symbol of international tension. News anchors debate the risks, analysts warn of the consequences, and the world's eyes are fixed on this maritime flashpoint. For the Philippines, it's a fight for fishing grounds and national dignity. Generations of Filipino fishermen have relied on these waters, and every confrontation is a battle for their livelihoods and their nation's pride. For China, it's about historical rights and regional dominance. The Chinese government sees these waters as a vital part of its heritage and strategic future, unwilling to back down in the face of international scrutiny. Every move is calculated, every misstep could spark a wider crisis. Officers on both sides monitor radar screens, issue orders, and weigh every decision, knowing the stakes could not be higher. The standoff at Scarborough Shoal is more than a headline, it's a daily dangerous reality for those at sea. Each day brings new risks, new provocations, and the constant fear that today could be the day everything changes. The world watches, knowing a single miscalculation could have devastating consequences. In this tense chess match on the high seas, the next move could shape the future of the entire region, and perhaps the world. At the heart of the conflict are two names: Panatag Shoal for the Philippines, Huangyan Island for China. The Philippines claims the shoal as part of its exclusive economic zone, citing centuries of fishing and international law. China's claim is rooted in historical rights, symbolized by its sweeping 9-dash line. For Beijing, the shoal is an inalienable part of its territory, a matter of national integrity. For Filipinos, defending Panatag is about sovereignty and standing up to a powerful neighbor. The dispute is a clash of national narratives, modern law and proximity versus historical legacy and ambition. These irreconcilable stories fuel the tension on the water. The shoal is more than rocks, it's a symbol of identity and pride for both nations. For generations, Scarborough Shoal was a lifeline for Filipino fishermen, a safe haven from the unpredictable storms that sweep across the South China Sea. Here, families built their lives around the rhythms of the sea, relying on its bounty to sustain entire coastal communities. The shoal's rich waters provided an abundance of fish, filling boats and baskets and bringing hope and prosperity to countless Filipino families. But everything changed in 2012, when China imposed a blockade, transforming the once open lagoon into forbidden waters. Access was suddenly cut off, and the familiar became dangerous. Now, massive Chinese Coast Guard ships and maritime militia vessels patrol the entrance, their presence intimidating and often harassing Filipino boats that dare to approach. Forced away from their traditional fishing grounds, Filipino fishermen must venture into rougher, less productive waters. Their catches have dwindled and incomes have collapsed, leaving families struggling to make ends meet. Water cannons and dangerous maneuvers by the Chinese ships have become routine, turning each trip into a nerve-wracking ordeal. The constant threat of confrontation hangs over every journey. Many fishermen have fallen into debt, forced to risk longer, more perilous journeys for ever-diminishing rewards. The physical and emotional toll is immense, as exhaustion and anxiety become part of daily life. In response, the Philippine Coast Guard now escorts fishing flotillas, offering a thin but vital shield of protection. Their presence brings some reassurance, but the danger remains ever present. Yet Filipino boats are vastly outnumbered and outgunned by the Chinese fleet, highlighting the stark imbalance of power in these contested waters. Still, the daily struggle continues, a story of defiance and resilience. These fishermen refuse to abandon their ancestral rights and way of life, standing firm in the face of overwhelming odds. Their persistence and courage are the human face of this conflict, a testament to the enduring spirit of the Filipino people. Scarborough Shoal is not just a geopolitical flashpoint, it's a fight for survival, dignity, and the future of generations who call these waters home. In 2013, the Philippines took China to court, challenging its sweeping claims in the South China Sea. The 2016 Hague Tribunal ruling was a landmark victory for Manila, invalidating China's 9-dash line and affirming Filipino fishing rights at Scarborough Shoal. China rejected the ruling outright, dismissing it as irrelevant and refusing to comply. Since then, Beijing has doubled down, expanding patrols, building militarized islands, and intensifying harassment. The Philippines holds a legally binding judgment but lacks the power to enforce it. China's defiance has turned Scarborough Shoal into a test of law versus might. The standoff is a stark reminder: international law is only as strong as the willingness to uphold it. The world watches as the rule of law is challenged on the open sea. Scarborough remains a symbol of unresolved justice and ongoing struggle. Scarborough Shoal's standoff is more than a local dispute, it's a global flashpoint. The South China Sea is a vital artery for a third of world shipping and energy supplies. Any conflict here could disrupt global trade and trigger economic instability. The U.S., a treaty ally of the Philippines, conducts patrols to challenge China's claims, testing the credibility of American security guarantees. The environmental toll is severe. Dredging and overfishing threaten one of the world's richest marine ecosystems. The world's attention is fixed on these waters, where the rules of international order are being tested. Will China abide by global norms, or rewrite the rules by force? The answer will shape the future of the 21st century world order. The current crisis echoes a pivotal standoff in 2012, when the Philippines tried to arrest Chinese fishermen at Scarborough Shoal. Chinese ships intervened, sparking a 2-month stalemate. A U.S.-brokered deal called for mutual withdrawal, but only the Philippines complied. China seized the moment, establishing de facto control and blockading the shoal ever since. This loss drove Manila to seek international arbitration. Under President Duterte, the Philippines briefly downplayed the dispute, but China's grip never loosened. A new Philippine administration has reignited efforts to assert maritime rights. Today's standoff is an attempt to challenge the status quo set in 2012. Both sides see the conflict through the lens of past betrayals and unfinished business. The lessons of 2012 haunt every maneuver at the shoal. The Scarborough Shoal conflict has united the Philippines like few issues can. Social media erupts with patriotic hashtags and messages of support for the Coast Guard and fishermen. Fishermen who braved the blockade are hailed as heroes. Their stories inspire songs, art, and national pride. Civil society groups organize supply missions, showing deep grassroots commitment. Journalists embed with patrols, bringing the standoff into every Filipino home. The issue dominates public consciousness, giving the government a strong mandate to stand firm. For many, the fight is about more than territory. It's about identity and sovereignty. National unity is now a strategic asset in the struggle for the West Philippine Sea. The standoff in the South China Sea is not just a simple confrontation, it's a focal point in a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and shifting loyalties. Here, the interests of global and regional powers collide, making every maneuver and decision carry enormous weight. The U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty stands as a powerful deterrent, signaling that any escalation could quickly draw in outside forces. This long-standing alliance means that the Philippines is not alone, and any threat to its sovereignty could trigger a much larger conflict involving the United States. Meanwhile, ASEAN, the regional bloc, finds itself divided. Consensus is hard to reach, especially with some members heavily influenced by China's economic and political power. This division makes it difficult for ASEAN to present a united front or take decisive action. China, for its part, employs gray zone tactics, using coercion, blockades, and constant patrols to assert control without resorting to open warfare. These actions keep tensions high while avoiding direct military confrontation. Economic leverage is another powerful tool in China's arsenal. As the region's largest trading partner, China can use its vast market and investment opportunities to sway neighboring countries, making them think twice before opposing Beijing's interests. In response, the Philippines is working hard to strengthen its ties with not just the US, but also Japan, Australia, and even European nations. By building a network of support, Manila hopes to bolster its maritime claims and deter further aggression. Joint military exercises and diplomatic backing from these partners reinforce Manila's position, sending a clear message that it is not isolated and has the support of the international community. The ongoing battle for Scarborough Shoal has become a symbol, a proxy for a much larger contest between a US-led, rules-based order and China's ambitions to reshape the region to its advantage. Every move at the shoal is closely watched, with decisions and incidents reverberating through capitals across Asia and even further afield, influencing diplomatic strategies and military planning. Ultimately, the outcome of these standoffs will help determine the future balance of power in the region, shaping not just the fate of the South China Sea, but the broader security architecture of Asia for years to come. As the sun sets on Scarborough Shoal, the future of the South China Sea hangs in the balance. The risk of miscalculation is high. A single incident could escalate into a military crisis involving superpowers. If China prevails, it could cement its dominance and undermine the international order. If the Philippines and its allies hold firm, they could reaffirm the power of law and collective action. The struggle is about more than reefs. It's a defining contest for Asia's future. Two visions collide, one of shared rules, the other of might making right. The courage of Filipino sailors and fishermen stands as a testament to the human desire for dignity and sovereignty. The world watches, knowing the outcome here will ripple far beyond these waters. Scarborough Shoal is where the currents of the 21st century are being shaped,